Let's talk about retrograde planets because we have Mercury going direct today on July the 23rd, but we have Saturn that is going retrograde on July the 26th. We also have Saturn, Neptune, and Pluto, and then Chiron is going to go retrograde also on July the 3rd. Okay. And so I feel like this is something that becomes very trendy. We only talk about the planet Mercury. And even when we're talking about the planet Mercury, we dummy it down to like, oh, well, the communication is going to break, or, X's are going to pop up or what have you. But I want to talk about actual like retrogrades. So everything is orbiting the sun from the Earth's perspective. This is what astrology is. It is pattern recognition. It is understanding that the frequencies and the energies of the planets impact our environment, our mindset, our physical body, our relationships. They just do. You may not have awareness to communicate that from that perspective, but they do. So when a planet is retrograde, Earth is the third planet from the sun. So between the sun and Earth, you have Venus and Mercury, and they move faster. So we can often see like Venus and Mercury, they look like they're going backwards in the sky. But every planet is moving at its own speed. Saturn takes 2.5 years. Jupiter is going to go every year. Neptune is going to go every 14 years. Uranus every 7 years. Pluto every 19 years, 20 years. Give or take a half a year or so, depending on if it goes retrograde. And so the point is to get back to the same point that it started from. So when a planet goes retrograde, imagine you're driving on a highway. Boom, and you pass a truck. And just for that split second, that truck seems to be going backwards because you're going forwards based on the movement, based on your speed. That is all that is happening in a retrograde. The planet is going to continue to orbit the sun and follow the ecliptic, the orbit of the sun, because the sun has a gravitational pull that's going to keep it in place. It doesn't actually stop, station, and then travel backwards. It's all an optical illusion. So that is the first thing to know. The second thing to know is that all planets go retrograde. So Mercury is going to go retrograde about 3 times a year for about 3 weeks because it's the fastest moving planet. Venus about 6 weeks, and it occurs every 18 months. Mars 2.5 to 3 months every 2 years. Jupiter goes retrograde for about 4 months once a year. Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune about 5 to 6 months. So half the year, and this occurs yearly. And then Pluto 5 to 6 months, and it occurs yearly. And again, these planets are not actually going backwards in the sky. Okay. So now we know that all planets go retrograde. We know that they're not actually moving backwards. And we also know that there's a certain time frame depending on the speed of the planet in which it travels the ecliptic. The other important thing that I want you to know is that each planet has its own symbolism when it goes retrograde. From an astrological perspective, it is an inward. Oh, you're going to revisit something. You're going to reflect on something. You're going to, something is going to come back up. And the reason for that is because the path that planet just traveled is now going backwards on the chart. So I want you to remember that the chart is Earth. Your natal chart is Earth. It is the perspective from here on Earth. So when we say, Mercury, we're in this car and we're traveling, we pass Mercury, which gives Mercury from our perspective on Earth, it's going to start to go, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6 from a degree point. It doesn't actually move backwards, but when we're looking at it from like degree points on our natal chart, that is what is happening. It's already at a place where, where it started. And then once Earth passes it, now it's starting to go backwards by a degree point in the chart. And a degree point is what the 360-degree circle is made of. You break that up into 12, and each sign it has 30 degrees. So say you have, Mercury's retrograde. After it travels from 16, let's say it goes to 18 degrees. When it retrogrades, it's going to go backwards to 2 degrees. And then when it moves forward again, it's going to go forward all the way through to the next sign. And in that 3-act scenario, you're going to go through something. You're going to go back and rethink about it, revisit it, see things that you missed. And then when it stations direct, you're going to move forward in that situation and have clarity and understanding. Depending on where the planet is, as in the house, that is going to tell you the theme in which that energy will show up for you. So Mercury is direct. As a Gemini, I've been crying all morning. It's in my 12th house of Cancer. I've had all this emotional turmoil come up about my mom, about my childhood, about my growth, about healing, all these things. Unbeknownst to me, I feel better today. I feel like something is clicking back in place energetically. But I'm also highly aware of my energy. I'm highly aware of my experiences. I spend a lot of time studying this shit because I'm highly interested in it, so that I can help you understand that your life is not going to trash, right? It is hard. Oh, life is so hard. And so this is just a tool to kind of help support you to know that God is not working against you. God is working for you always. And I need that reminder all the time. So I'm telling you, like, God is working for you always, right? So when we're talking about the different planets, so we know that Mercury is a trendy thing. Oh, Mercury is going retrograde. I'm so sorry for the banging. They are fixing my deck. And it's supposed to rain tomorrow. And they're out there like handyman, getting shit done. Mercury is done with its retrograde. It will have another one coming up, which is why it's a trendy topic, a trendy word. But I want you to understand that even though the planet rules communication, it rules those things because it's the fastest moving planet. It rules how we communicate, how we receive information, our vehicles. It rules the intellect because it is the ruler of Gemini and Virgo. The biggest thing that I've learned with retrograde energy is that it brings it so close to us that we lose perspective. We can't see it. We're like, it's not that it's causing something to trip over itself. It's that sometimes you have to take a step back to see the full picture. So imagine you're standing in front of like a beautiful piece of art and you're like, oh, I mean, I can see that there's some brown and I see the pink up there and I see the white and I can see where they like stroke the brush this way. And then you take 10 steps back and you're like, oh shit, that's a horse in a thing of flowers. Like, I didn't see that because I was too close to the fucking picture. That is retrograde energy. It's not meant to harm us. It's not meant to make our lives chaotic. It's meant to put us so close to the things that we are needing to revisit in that area of life that we really have to gain perspective and go through it. The important part, and what I want to leave you with, is that Saturn is about to go retrograde on July the 26th. So Saturn is in Aries. Find the Aries area of your chart. Saturn does not like to be in Aries. It is like the drill sergeant, because here Saturn is going, be responsible, like do what you need to do, put up the boundaries, follow the rules. And Aries is like a fucking child, an infant. It's like, hey, do what I told you to do. So I don't think that if this weekend you're starting to feel something, I want you to explore the Aries area of your chart because it's going to give you insight to where Saturn is requiring more responsibility from you. Saturn rules karma. Saturn, because it rules linear time. Like a lot of the other planets, again, Venus and Mercury are within Earth and the Sun. So you have Venus, you have Mercury and Venus. Venus is the second hottest planet from the Sun, fun fact. And then you have Earth in our perspective. And then behind us, we have Mars and Saturn and Jupiter and Neptune and Pluto and Uranus. So when we have these planets, like when we have Saturn go retrograde, it's like the teacher has left the classroom. what have you learned up until this point? How are you going to apply that up until this point? Saturn, I mean, when I tell you they just a banging. Saturn is a planet that gives consequences. Saturn is not, because again, we're in this 3D reality and it rules time, father time. Like, if we didn't have boundaries and structures, then we'd just be spirit bodies out here. And Saturn is like, if you're here, you're going to act accordingly. Based on this area of your chart, there's things for you to do and you must do them. So when Saturn stations retrograde on July the 26th through December the 11th, we are going to be in a time frame of acting accordingly, right? Find the area of your chart. Know what is being asked of you. You can research it, so that you have a better understanding of the experiences that are going to come back up. But Saturn is going to go from 14 degrees, 44 arc minutes, 444. God is all over this, y'all. So when Saturn goes retrograde on July the 26th, it is going to be retrograding up until August the 1st, when it actually finishes stationing its retrograde at 14 degrees of Aries. Saturn is going to, let's go back and look at December so I can see when Saturn goes direct. So Saturn is going to go from 14 degrees. I'm just feeling God all over this. Because it's gonna go retrograde from 14 degrees and 44 arc minutes to 7 degrees and 55 arc minutes, which means that Saturn is gonna go direct. Ooh, December's gonna be crazy, ain't it? Saturn goes direct December 10th. Neptune goes direct December 12th. Jupiter goes retrograde December 13th. We're going to get to December when we get to December, okay? The planet Saturn is going to go retrograde on July the 26th, and through December the 11th, it is going to be in the Aries area of your chart. So for Leo risings, this is our 9th house, and it is an energy that is going to be so close to you that it's asking for you to operate according to the things that you've already learned in this area of your chart. And you will not be perfect in that, but you want to do what you know is right. You don't want to cut corners. You don't want to cheat people. You don't want to play with people. You don't want to intentionally, consciously fuck over shit. Because when Saturn goes direct, you may think you get away with it. And when Saturn goes direct in December, it will blow up in your fucking face. Saturn is going to come and go, well, why would you do that? Imagine a teacher leaving the classroom and giving you a quiz and then you cheated, but there was cameras in there the whole time, or you're blowing spitballs at people and then, or at the ceiling. And then when it goes direct and it comes in and it opens the door, all the spitballs kind of fall on you. Like, why would you do that? You knew better. If you know better, do better. If you have, act according to what you've learned up until this point. Retrogrades are very personable. They bring the energy close. We do not judge what other people are going through. We support other people. We love other people, because this thing called life is fucking hard, and Saturn is a planet. Like, have you ever met a Capricorn? Just have you? Because they're ruled by this energy. So they come off like non-negotiable. Like, bitch, make me. That's Saturn. And that is the feminine version of how that energy is displayed. Saturn is a masculine energy. Saturn is not going for the bullshit. Okay? So as kind as people want to make like God and energy, some of this energy will come through and sit you on your ass. And that is Saturn. So Saturn is going retrograde. Act according. We know what a retrograde is. We know that the energy is going to feel close to us. We know that around the 26th through August the 1st, we're going to feel this stationing. I will come back and tell you what else is happening. But this is about retrogrades, and specifically about debunking Mercury being a terrible thing, going retrograde, and knowing that Saturn going retrograde is important. I love you.